Have you ever considered how you will know when God's will is done? My church is studying the Lord's Prayer that you find in Matthew chapter 6. And in verse 10, as part of that prayer, it says, "Your will be done," talking about God's will. So it's easy for us to think we're following God's will, but how do we really know? Well, I kind of have an answer to this, and it comes in Galatians chapter 1, where I've been spending some time today. And in Galatians 1, we're seeing Paul's journey, how he came to be a follower of Christ and began to live out his faith in ministry. And in Galatians 1:10, we get this verse. It says, "Am I now seeking human approval or God's approval? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still pleasing people, I would not be a servant of Christ." Interesting. It goes on to talk about how Paul was not readily accepted by people in his ministry. He had been out persecuting the Jews, and here he is demonstrating that now he's a follower of Christ. And they're like, what is going on? We don't know if we believe him. But he does his own thing. He follows God. And in the very last verse of Galatians 1, it says, "And they glorified God because of me." That, my friends, that is the answer. If what we are doing is for human approval, it's not necessarily going to be God's will. But every time we are seeking to bring God glory, and it's truly for God's glory, that, I suspect, is definitely more in line with God's will than anything else we can dream of. Think about that as you meditate on this today.